We have one world to live on, so why experience just one place? I've always loved traveling and exploring new destinations, learning from different cultures, having different languages, and meeting people from all over the world has always been a core part of who I am. But over time, I realized that travel isn't just about places. It's about how it changes the way we experience life itself. If you are new here, my name is Caner. I make videos about travel, global living, and my life here in the Netherlands. Let's start with the first reason I love traveling so much. When you do the same things and visit the same places every day, your brain gets used to it. You start living life on autopilot. There is nothing wrong with routines. They are efficient and comfortable, but they do change how we experience time. Research shows that time felt longer when we were kids because we were experiencing most things for the first time. Everything was new. And 1 year also represented a much bigger percentage of our life back then. Travel brings some of that back. I still remember the first time I arrived in Vancouver. What struck me immediately wasn't just the beauty of the place, but how the city seemed to blend into nature. You would be walking through a modern city, and within minutes, you were surrounded by mountains, forests, and ocean. It felt different, quieter, bigger. My brain was constantly processing new inputs. The scale of nature, the way the city was designed, the air, the light. Time didn't rush the way it usually does. Days felt fuller. I felt something similar, but in a completely different way, the first time I traveled to Bulgaria. There, even simple things like trams caught my attention. They looked rougher, more raw, almost frozen in a different era compared to the clean, modern, North American feel I had experienced in Canada. Those contrasts, the visuals, the sounds, the way system works, force your brain to stay alert, curious, and present. When you travel, when you hear a new language, experience a different culture, try unfamiliar food, or even feel a different kind of breeze, your brain starts making new connections again. In a very real sense, you don't just collect memories. You actually slow down time, and that makes life feel richer. Related to that, I honestly feel I live a much richer life by combining different locations. Let's be real, the Netherlands is an amazing country. I love it here. But for me personally, it doesn't have the climate to stay 12 months of the year. So my long-term vision is to design a life where I split my time between different places. For example, 6 months in the Netherlands, 3 months in Spain, and 3 months traveling the world. Or maybe one day I move back to Spain and design something similar from there. To me, that feels like making better use of this planet we live on. But I also want to be clear about something. This way of living isn't always easy. It comes with trade-offs. You miss people, you give up certain comforts, you live with a bit more uncertainty than if you stayed in one place forever. And still, I choose it. Because designing a life across different places isn't about escape. It's about growth, and intentionally choosing how and where I want to live. This idea isn't new at all. The other day in Zaandam, I saw the statue of Peter the Great, a Russian Tsar who came there in the 17th century, not as a ruler, but as a student, to learn shipbuilding. Seeing that statue didn't make me think about history. It made me think about how little permission we give ourselves to remain students. Centuries ago, even people at the very top understood that staying in one place limits growth. Curiosity requires movement. I try to keep that mindset with me. I genuinely believe in continuous learning, and travel is one of the most powerful teachers I know. It keeps my brain active, slows down time, and makes life feel more intentional. Movement has always shaped progress. People, ideas, and cultures have grown by traveling and exchanging. I try to apply that same principle to my own life. And last, but certainly not least, Traveling makes me feel alive. One of the best feelings I know is heading to the airport to go to a new country, and ideally alone. I love traveling with friends and family, but solo travel gives me something different. It helped me realize how independent I actually am, and how much I love exploring on my own terms. Some places fit you naturally. For me, the Netherlands did that from the very first moment. The way life is structured here, the culture, the rhythm, the mindset, it just clicked. I can't say the same about every place I've lived or traveled to. Solo travel gives you the space to notice that. When you travel with someone else, adjustment is inevitable. You might go to a restaurant you wouldn't have chosen yourself. You might skip something you were curious about. You're sharing decisions, energy, and attention. That's not a bad thing. It's just different. When I travel alone, I follow my curiosity completely. I end up talking to people I would never meet if I were busy with friends or family. I notice things more, I listen more. The other day in Zaandam, there was one building that really stayed with me, the Intel Hotel. It takes traditional Dutch houses and reimagines them in a bold, modern way. It doesn't reject tradition, it rearranges it. That's exactly how I see travel and solo life. Keeping what matters, letting go of what doesn't, and giving myself the freedom to redesign everything else. That balance is important to me. So whether I'm far away or reflecting at home, travel reminds me to stay curious, intentional, and alive wherever I am. If you enjoyed this video or found a different perspective, feel free to like and subscribe for future videos. Thank you for watching and have a great day.